Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Don't forget, if you like the video, click on like and subscribe and talk about it on chat lines, wherever it is your social media activities, and help us to grow and help more people. I'll talk to you soon. And Tammy says, "Hi uncle, hope you are doing well." Says, "I've been reflecting lately on my past three relationships I had in my life, and I come to realize that they all ended in the same manner. Just make one mistake. I just make one mistake, and they end up leaving, and they never end on good terms, and they never want anything to do with me anymore. It's not like I cheat or abuse them. Why is that happening? Because I don't know what you do. What is that mistake? Do you know what that is? I don't have enough detail about your interaction with your exes and how it went. So I can't make a comment what it is because it's not a general thing. Each woman and each man have their own triggers and shortcomings, and you can't be seeking the answer in yourself always. Although we should always be thoughtful inwardly and analyze our behavior and how our behavior affects the other one, but at the same time, we can't always be at fault. You need to be fair in your judgment about both of you and the actual relationship. You can't always seek responses or remedies or responsibility in your behavior just because you didn't want to break up, but she broke up. So you feel it must have been your fault. This is one of the very important things that everybody should recognize and look for. And perhaps, Fräulein, it might actually be an answer to your question as well before you ask it, because you only said that you feel so betrayed. And this is a universal thing that most of us who their girlfriend, or if you're a girl, your boyfriend breaks up with, the one who has been broken up with feels guilty as it must have been my fault or something I could have done differently to avoid this outcome that I don't desire and I want her back or you want him back. Most often we forget to realize that there's so many other things at work that we are not focusing. We're totally focusing on our guilt and how we can exonerate ourselves. And that can be through your thinking, I get her back. I get her realize that I'm a good person. Or, I'm just talking in one gender, like a man is thinking about the girlfriend. And if you're a woman and have a boyfriend, you can reverse it the way that it should suit you. So, but it's not always true that just because she broke up with you, it's been your fault or there's some wrong with you or somebody else is better. She's dating somebody else or she made advances to somebody else or allowed somebody else make advances to her. It doesn't mean it was all your fault at all, but we are focused on that. What could I have done? What did I not do good enough or enough of it that made her do that? I caused it. That's totally bogus. Sometimes it is possible that you are at fault. Then you will find out and you remedy it. And usually should be involved in discussions and trying to compromise and find out the reasons and then make the relationship work. But if it's just abrupt breakup and you're still looking for reasons for that in yourself, that's going after a goose chase. Because you forget that there are elements in the psyche of the other person that you're not focusing on. When, for example, you get into a relationship that certain argument comes up and you decide to feel that this is not in line with your values, and right off the bat you just don't want to waste time and you want to break it up, and you tell her, and then she goes nuts and she calls you all kinds of names and all kinds of attributes that you're not a real man, you don't stand for your words, you're not reliable, you lied to me that you said you're interested in me, all these things that They hit you hard with all kinds of unnecessary and untrue accusations. And of course, you feel kind of like, what did I do? I did something wrong. You start believing because there's so much attack is coming towards you from a woman who is beautiful, or somehow you obviously had an interest in her. That's why you became sensitive at that certain behavior or discussion, and you reacted in such a way which, without your knowledge, it's due to your affection towards her. As a man, you have lots of pride and you can't control it sometimes, and you make a mistake and you react in a way of like you want to break up or you're not interested anymore, because underlying is you might be very interested in her and you want her for you and you want her loyalty, and you can't even think about certain things that could signify that you're not the top dog right now, or you interpret it that way mistakenly, but that's what you do, while she was just simply expressing some kind of a memory or some kind of a story or point of views. So you get bombarded with all that antagonizations and you already feel overwhelmed as far as, oh, I must have done something wrong because that's a woman, she's beautiful, I like her, and she's dissatisfied with me. But let's say you go over that problem, that hurdle at the beginning, and you guys kind of get back together. Then she love bombs you so severely. And she also refers to your outbursts in regards to her behavior or the discussion that you had that made you sensitive as the fact that this is a sign that you're in love with me, she says, so desperately. Hmm. Then she love bombs you. You're my this, you're my that, you're everything, you mean everything to me. And this goes on for a while. And you feel, wow, this woman fought for me, took me, brought me back, and loves me so much, pays so much attention, and she calls you 2, 3 times a day. Now, all these affections strengthens your side to her, and you become more and more involved. And then suddenly you expect certain behavior, or you suggest something, or you make a conversation towards certain standards that both should observe. And then a day or so later, suddenly she says, I don't think I'm the woman that is suitable to you. So I want you to know and make your plans accordingly. I thank you very much for everything you taught me, or everything experienced. Very cordial, very civilized. And she cuts it off. And here you are, again, feeling like, Jesus, I want her because everything was good. She love bombed me. She gave me all this attention. She said all these right things. She loves me. She adores me, and this and that. So over so much, and then she cuts it off. And then this goes on for a few days, and then a few days later, she calls and she says, and you say, "Why are you calling? You just broke up with me." She says, "Well, I missed you." That's all it takes for her to feel that's enough to come back. And you, having been confused why even this happened, and you were used to the love bombing, you were conditioned to want that, of course, you welcome her coming back. Then it goes on for another couple of weeks, and again, some bad behavior that she does, or bad choice, or bad judgment, which is not in line with the value when two couples are together, whatever it may be, different people, different things. And then when you bring that up, she doesn't deal with it. And she comes back in a day later and says, I don't think I'm the right woman for you. And thank you very much. And that's it. Again, you are feeling what's happened again. And then you fall in love with her more, because now you have no reason in reality that you've experienced something drastic with her that you can justify the breakup. Since you can't justify the breakup, You're up in the air, bamboozled, and you fall in love further because she's been doing this, giving you love, going away, giving you love, going away, conditioning you to that femininity, attention, and then taking it away. And then perhaps you see her immediately, or maybe just before, she starts complimenting other guys, or one other guy, or something that was not a good suggestion. It was not a good decision she made as a woman who's in a relationship. And you wonder and you get pissed off and you bring it to her attention, and then she breaks up. No reason at all. Just as I don't think I'm the right woman for you. These sort of manipulations kind of brings you to your knees in a way, but puzzles the hell out of you. And all along, you're searching the answers in what it is I should have not said. This is a normal expectation of a man from a woman when they're in a relationship and there is love involved. Yet, the outcome is not what it's supposed to be. And you're constantly trying to find out what's happening because all along you're crediting her because she's beautiful, or she creates that excitement in you, or you have sympathy or love towards her because of all the conditioning you received, or perhaps because of her looks and all that, or the posture, whatever it was that attracted you. You always trying to find out what did you do, or what was wrong in your approach or your expectations. And you miss one big thing. You can't answer why is she doing all these weird things that is not worthy of a woman who is in a relationship, and a relationship that she constantly says she loves and adores and this and that, so forth. And you're puzzled why these things happen. And you fall more and more in love because that's the nature of the psyche, that wants something that has been good to it, but is now pulled away. To crave it more. And the answer is this: you never looked into her psyche. What are the signs there? Is she depressed? Well, you have all along seen signs in her pictures, in the way she looks, in the way she talks, some of the things that she discusses, and even maybe slipped out of her mouth that if she does this or doesn't do that, she's depressed. Or she's constantly or often you see her kind of having a wine, and it's kind of maybe half drunk, calls you, and you take it as maybe relaxing or sexy. But when you put it all together, which I want you to do this when you're meeting someone that is peculiar in behavior, rather than constantly looking for the answer in yourself by having been bamboozled with all the love bombing and the relationship pleasures and so on, to look and see if there are signs of irregularity in a balance, emotional balance in her, such as history of her life a little bit, the pictures that she's taken, how her eyes look. Does it look depressed? Does it look lack of energy? And the things that she does, eccentric things that she does, which is out of line or out of norm when someone is in love and is in a relationship. For example, if it seeks attention from many other men or people in general, or maybe compliments on some other guy when she's in love and in relationship with her boyfriend. You can put it all together and figure out if she's depressed or has some depression problems. What is it that people need when they're depressed? What do you do when you're depressed? If you're healthy and depressed, you end up going to the gym or you do some activities that is physical and you bring your mood up, create adrenaline and all these other uh, neurotransmitters that you need, which is one of the most important ones to counter that depression is what? Dopamine. Hmm? And so, what causes dopamine? Many different activities, such as sports activities, gym workout, this and that, so forth, and things that are novel and gives you attention, makes you happy, that you're worthy. By how? By different things. In one case, could be by getting other men's attention or other people's attention, by complimenting things and eccentrically choosing doing something that gives you a boost of mood because you're interested. You think, oh, somebody's handsome, so I got to go get to know that person. And she feels a certain kind of elation or satisfaction, or the attention gives her assurance, which that gives her the dopamine. So when you see a woman or your partner is constantly looking for these sort of behaviors, see what gains from those behaviors would be, is it? Yes, it makes her feel excited or something new, or the attention gives her assurance, which secretes dopamine. So when someone is constantly doing things to secrete dopamine by her brain, that means she's depressed. In order to counter it, she does these weird things. So when she finally separates from you for no reason, no good reason, you can conclude that was what she did that caused you be sensitive and upset about it, was not because you're not good enough, or she didn't prefer you, or she doesn't love you, or didn't love you, or at least what she says wasn't true, is because she needed dopamine, and all these other activities and attentions that she seeks and hunts for it and fishes for it is giving her dopamine. And the dopamine is why she does these things that makes you upset, that you object to it, and then she leaves instead of dealing with it. She breaks up. So stop looking for the reasons for the breakup in you, and start looking at these reasons for breakup so often and for no good reason. It's oscillating, lack of balance is because of her psyche balance and her seeking dopamine by activities that are out of line, but gives her that certain kind of a immediate high of getting attention for one reason or another. And attention is usually the basics of this, and that is an addiction to dopamine. So don't seek the answers in what you did wrong, or that you're not good enough, somebody else that she's going out is good enough. No, it's because she needed dopamine, and she does all these weird things because she has no other way to deal with that depression. It's out of her control in a way, and she doesn't know what to do with it. And she does this weird thing. So stop thinking that you weren't good enough. Stop thinking that you should fall more in love with her, and focus on the fact that she's actually ill. She's got psychological deficiencies. And that is not your fault, or is not bringing a shortcoming to you as far as this relationship, or the reason for separation is because she is in psychological turmoil. And that kind of a person you actually don't want to be with, because she will do weird things, and the weird thing signifies to you that she's strong and confident, and she doesn't think you're good enough. And that makes you feel more in love with her, and makes you feel kind of depressed because you can't have her, because she's constantly doing weird things to get attention, but you don't know. You think you're not good enough, you're doing something wrong. So that's the kind of a girl that you should stay away from. And don't think that the reason she's not with you is because of you, and that you have to have her and get her back to prove to yourself you're good enough. No, she's actually psychologically deficient, some problems, and she doesn't know how to deal with it, and makes her do all these weird things because she's addicted to that dopamine. She can get that dopamine through those highs of doing weird things, getting attention of other people, and that is not your fault. And that is the kind of girl you should let go, and not fall into emotional turmoil with her deeper and deeper. So I don't know, Tambi, if that is something that could also be part of the problem with yours. And Fräulein, I don't know, maybe that also explains some of the things that you have dealt with. Tammy says they all ended for good and never want to reconcile. Okay. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.